What's happening? Welcome to the Southwest Warrior Podcast. I'm Eric Sanchez, your host, and today I have my first ever guest, my man Dustin Duenas.
Let's go,
How's it going, buddy?
dude. I'm doing great. It's going great. Happy
Yeah,
to be here. Honored to be the first guest.
heck
Like that.
yeah.
That is something to be proud about. So thank you.
Well, I've watched you grow since you were a high schooler. Dustin was one of my first clients at my CrossFit gym, and yeah, heck yeah, brother. But yeah, Dustin, I've got to watch him grow and become a man. He was wet behind the ears. He got out there, got an education, and then pursued goals. But yeah, man, tell me. So where did you grow up?
We're doing the thing. We're doing the thing. We're living the life. I've been having fun and looking back. Well, you're really showing our age there, Eric. I can't believe it's been so long. What was it? 12 years ago?
No,
I
longer
mean,
than was it?
I was
Yeah.
still in high school. That was 2015 or sooner. It was like 2014. Yeah,
Wow.
over. It's been a while. It's been a
Yeah.
while, but we're still young and spry, right?
Oh yeah, man.
Feeling good, healthy.
I, uh,
Moving on.
I'm torn up, man. You know me. I did the competitive CrossFit thing, and yeah, the wildland firefighting, everything just tore me apart. But I had too big of an ego. I was so competitive. I didn't want to
Mm.
lose. I trained while I still had injuries and stuff like that. And now I am paying for it. So, young guys, if you're injured out there, just recover, heal, build up that muscle, build up that injury, and then go back into it. Don't be a dummy like me.
Well, I feel like you're speaking right there to me, Eric, because it's been a while since I've woken up and just felt good.
Yeah,
Something's always hurting, but
really. What bothers you?
elbows, hands, fingers. I strained my fingers, my knees, my back. You know,
You arm wrestle?
I do a little bit, and it's a pretty tough sport, actually.
Yeah,
I've been surprised by the amount of technique involved. It's not just about being strong; it's about actually understanding technique and leverage and being strong through the technique.
yeah,
So, but that's been part of it. I actually took a little bit of a break dealing with some injury stuff, but
that's good.
yeah, trying to be smart. I don't want to be in the wheelchair in
Heck yeah.
my 30s and 40s.
No, man.
Prefer to wait a little while.
Yeah, heck yeah. And so I knew you when you were wrestling. This guy was straight up going for it for state out there on that grind. It was cool as a coach, like for my first time coaching other people and seeing your drive, and this guy would show up. We'd make him puke. We had him doing all kinds of crazy stuff, but his dad was all about it. Um, what did wrestling teach you? What did you learn from wrestling?
What did I learn from wrestling? Cut
Sorry.
that. What did I learn from wrestling? Perseverance, endurance, focusing on getting a little bit better every day. Those types of things were very impactful. Not giving up, which my family would laugh at this because I did want to quit wrestling every year that I did it. I was suckered into it as a sophomore in high school, and I knew from the get go that if I started it, my best friends and coaches and mentors wouldn't let me quit, and that's exactly what happened. Because after every year, I wanted to quit, but when it came down to it, my parents would not let me quit, and it wrestling was tough, man. It was tough. You definitely had to put the work in, and it was not easy work. And in the end, though, as they said I would, I'm glad I did it. It turned into a great experience. We had some amazing teams, some very talented teams, beat the crap out of each other, had a ton of fun along the way, even with our goofy coaches, if they ever hear this.
What made you want to be a champion? Like, what gave you that drive? Um, was it others believing in you? Um, could you see it like, I can outwork this kid in my weight class. I have what it takes. Like, could you see that goal being a possibility? Because you seem like I mean, you were hungry, man.
You know what? I think some of that I might have just been wearing on my face, because if I really look back and think about it, that was really a time of, I mean, still to this day, but figuring out who I was,
Yeah,
Fig-
absolutely.
figuring out, my worth and my value and what I can contribute, and figuring out my own strength. And I mean, a lot of times I probably underestimated myself, but I was raised not to quit and to try my best. So I was committed to doing that, and it paid off, and it helped reveal to me the level of game that I could play,
That it
and
was possible.
that it was possible. And you know, I ended up having a lot of fun in wrestling in high school, um, but the lessons really have had the biggest impact down the road now in adulthood, in my career, in my relationships, in my faith. About
And think about that. If you would have never chased that goal, um, and you would have let fear give in and be like, "Oh, I can't do this," or "This is out of reach," or whatever, but you just put your head down, you grind it, and even if you don't come out on top, you're still 10 times stronger than you would have ever been if you didn't start it and see it through.
That's true. There was no such thing, really, in hindsight, especially. It was win or learn. That's it, and that's really life, right? You win or learn.
Yeah,
It's You have to
absolutely.
do something tremendously stupid to genuinely lose, or if you just decide not to reflect on your experiences, then yes, you can count that as a loss. But really, all of life is either winning or learning, and there was a lot of there was a lot of learning in wrestling.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Um, and so what do you do now? I know last time we talked, we went out. This guy's been my partner in crime sometimes. But you were saying that you're doing this recreation. I'm sorry, forgive me, but it has to do with recreation. And all I see is that you're going to all these badass places, snowmobiling, and you're linking up with some pretty high profile people. Um, how the heck did this all
Oh
happen?
man, that's a long story. Um,
What
it's
organization is this?
so the main project. I have two big projects that are very important to me. Um, and one of them is actually the family business, which I don't post a lot about, but the family business, MGS Communications, actually turns 30. Congratulations, mom!
Hey, congrats, mom!
On Sunday, February 1st, 30 years, which is older than I am.
Wow.
So that is impressive. It's very impressive. It's a lot of endurance and faith and heart to pull that off, especially
Yeah,
while raising a family and dealing with life. So that's pretty cool.
yeah.
And the project that you're referring to is Adventure Sports Parks, ASP. That's something that I put a lot of time into lately, and really I've been involved with the humans behind this project for almost 10 years now, and it's it's led to a ton of adventures, a ton of traveling, of course, but really a lot of great relationships, and most importantly, at the heart of it, it's these people and these projects have also shown me how to be more bold in my faith for Christ, which
Oh,
has
that's
been the
awesome.
biggest and most important um, change that they've made in my life.
Yeah.
So
And so they build parks and
we
all.
we build we're, we build parks. We build world class action sports amenities at casinos and resorts. If you can think of all inclusive um, cruises, or I'm going to forget the wording exactly, but the cruise lines that are multi generational, that have amenities for fun amenities, great amenities for all types of age groups, from
Okay.
infants all the way through to the elderly. And the cruise industry has really done a wonderful job at giving people a high quality experience. And we're basically taking that idea and applying it to the casino and resort industry.
Dang.
So yeah, we build world class action sports amenities, multi generational amenities that help these casinos and resorts attract different kinds of markets that they previously hadn't been able to catch. And you can
So sorry. So the owner of your company, the CEO or whatever, he found this need and met that demand, or found a demand and met that. How have you met him or?
he's the worst.
Uh
Yeah.
oh,
No,
Dustin's gonna be looking for
oh.
work.
I might be able to. Dude, I'm getting a call right now. That's weird. It's my boss. No, you know what? The gentleman who founded ASP, co-founded ASP, is uh, been a best friend of mine for many years now, and someone that I consider a brother. And he, if you want the long story, Adventure Sports Parks really um, was created or spun out from another project called Camp Royal, a project that I've been working on, helping to work on, still work on for the past or since 2018. And Camp Royal is a Christian-based action sports summer camp that is currently traveling around the country hosting youth summer camps in action sports and helping youth discover their true identity in Christ, their God-given true identity. And it's our belief that if God is the king, then that makes us princes and princesses, which makes us royalty. So that's where royal comes from. And at the time, back in 2018, I went to a retreat in Colorado with 75 young men, and there was about 15 chaperones, if you will, like adults helping organize a retreat in beautiful cabins up in Colorado. And I ended up meeting Brandon Heidemann, who's um, the co-founder and CEO of ASP, but also was the founder of Royal. And at the time, they were prepping a boots on the ground facility in West Virginia to host summer camps for kids. And there was a strategic reason why we had chosen West Virginia. And I ended up, when I met him, I think I was 19. The next year at 20, I drove my little egg car, my Ford Fiesta, out to Glen Jean, West Virginia.
What did you call it?
It's an egg. It was a little
Oh,
egg, a little
egg car.
hatchback. I don't know what you thought I said, but it was an egg. It looked like an egg. It wasn't the most professional car, but that car at the end of the day had been from San Diego up into New Hampshire, past Boston, as far south as Atlanta and New Orleans and San Antonio and Austin and downtown Chicago and outside of Manhattan, just uh, across the river there in Jersey, and really everywhere in between. That car really was a treat for me, even though it was not the sexiest car, that's for sure.
Yeah.
But I ended up driving out to West Virginia as a 20-year-old who really had no idea who the people were that I was working with. Brandon, even I really didn't know very well. And my parents, I don't think, liked the idea of me driving out to West Virginia because no one knew what the heck was going on. I didn't really know. I was like, I'm gonna go help the summer camp, and we can dive into this more if you want. But working with Royal ultimately changed my life in a huge way.
What kind of guy is he? Like, is he like a humble dude? Like, would you think he is who he is if you saw him in public?
Oh yeah, no, he's very very humble.
Sorry, I don't mean to put you on
No,
the
I no,
spot
it's,
like
you
that.
know what?
They'll probably
I hope
never even see
and
this.
he might. And well, let's see what direction I want to take this in. But okay, can we cut? No, he's my kind of people. MKP. I learned that little abbreviation from Nick Peterson. But my kind of people, somebody who has high level character, high level ability, uh, is thoughtful and present and participates in life, and most importantly, has a rock solid relationship with God, with our
That's
Father.
awesome.
And
And he uses his work to help people and
yeah, well, to glorify God for
yeah,
one, and to help people realize their true identity in Christ. And that's what Camp Royal was when I joined, and what it still is. And so we had a boots on the ground facility in West Virginia up until that was active until about a year or two ago. And now we decided to take the show back on the road, to host camps around the country. But what we found was that there were certain parts of running a nonprofit that were pretty difficult. Fundraising was difficult. And that wasn't something I did. That was what he did all the time, what Brandon did. And that was something that he spent all his time doing. And I don't think that was really ideal for anybody to have uh, a visionary like himself, somebody who has such a heart for kids, constantly on the road, talking to people about just about money. Long story short, um, some conversations came up about how we might be able to apply our action sports backgrounds to the hospitality industry, because Brandon, along with some of our partners at the time, had seen that many hotels, casinos, and resorts aren't capturing families with children and families with pets as guests of their facilities, and we realized that we had the sauce to pull it off. We had
that's
the team, we had the people, and it's been 3 years now since ASP was spun off of sorts from Royal, um, but we're getting pretty close to locking in our very first deal, and I can't talk a lot about it right now, but it's been a blast. It's been a ton of fun. It's been a learning experience, and it's shaping up. It's shaping up to just be something that's super sweet and cool.
that's awesome, man. Just knowing you as a person, you've always been real respectful. Your dad, I know he was really stern with you, and I think you have that to thank him for that. But yeah, I've always noticed like you're always like a yes sir kind of guy. You've always seemed professional, and you're not on the pedal all the time, or like drinking or doing other things. Like you're always present and available. And do you think that has to do something with the opportunities that have come across, like you being dependable and people? I don't know. I think it has something to do with it. People see that you're dependable, you're solid, you have a good attitude. Um, as far I don't have to work with you, but
You are now. You're about to see it.
but
Man, you brought up a lot of interesting topics, and I'm going to touch on being present first, because that's part of one of my taglines, if you will, about what I'm called to do on a daily basis. If I had to summarize what I feel like I'm called to do on this earth in a couple lines, it would be showing up and being present. And it took a lot of walks and a lot of conversation with God to realize that I could summarize it that way, but when I look back at my life, the craziest experiences, just things that just don't make sense on paper, they all started because I was present, or because I was showing up. For one, I was where I needed to be. I was getting into the room. I wasn't just sitting at home, right? I was actually going out and doing the thing. I was showing up, and then I was being present with people. I was being a real human being. I was looking people in the eyes. I was shaking their hands. I was having real conversations and being genuinely curious about who they were. And what do you know? That's actually a great way to begin friendships, to
Yes.
build any kind of relationship.
People trust you. They start to build trust.
That's, yeah, you're absolutely right. That they begin to know, like, and trust you, even if you're not the one talking. They might just be talking about themselves the whole time. And when the conversation's over, they're like, dang, like, I really like Dustin because of whatever reason, but little do they realize that they talk the whole time. They don't even know anything about me, but they
Yeah.
like me. And that's not everyone likes me, to be clear.
And you build a reputation. Like my last podcast, we were talking about first job experiences and how you may not think that they're serious jobs, but what you're doing is you're building a resume and you're building your reference. How can your boss refer you if you're not worth a darn?
Yeah.
You're proving something.
Yeah. Well, how can anyone refer you? I mean, it's
Yeah.
these little things, these little mundane habits of treating people well, showing up and being present can have a significant impact over time, have an exponential impact on your life, especially because relationships aren't built overnight. Relationships are one of the few things, in my opinion, that just can't be scaled. You can't just you can't scale them like other aspects of business. It's something that you genuinely have to put the time into, and for the most part, there's a limit to how many high quality relationships you can have in your life, because managing those can be tricky. And um, but showing up and being present has had a profound impact on my life, and I keep it in my Instagram bio, even because I swear to you, it's the secret to my success
Yeah.
is those things. If I didn't, if there's ever a time where I don't know what to do, I just think about that. Where can I show up today, and where can I be present? And God has never failed me in those things, and it's absurd. You can't you can't count. Um, you don't know when it'll have a huge impact, but it will happen. And
Oh yeah.
it used to lead.
Well, it's like with this jewelry stuff. Like when I first started, I sucked, and I kept showing up. I kept messing up. I kept making mistakes. But 6 years down the road, geez, everything, it all makes sense. Like it
Mhm,
just takes time and consistency, showing up every day,
mhm,
busting your butt, and yeah, learning the ropes. Like, yeah, everyone has to start out as a rookie and, you know, maybe not make a lot of money. Um, but the other day I was looking at this, see if I can find it here. Um, and do you do you learn leadership traits? Like, how do you learn how to be a leader? Like, you take things from your leaders, good things.
uh, for sure. I think I've looked at some of the people that have inspired me and motivated me and helped me grow, and try to pick up traits from them. There was a period of time where I was all about the self help and all about the books and the podcasts and the videos and the courses and all of this stuff. And eventually it was way too much. I began to realize that I knew what needed to be done. I knew what to do. I didn't need any more insight necessarily. Reminders are always good, but um, yeah, I've pulled a lot of leadership ideas from people. Uh, And one of them is the Bible.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Oh
mean,
yeah.
showing up with love first, really. Love for
Yes.
your team, love for yourself.
Do you feel like you have any anger?
Hmm. You know what? It depends. Not no, no. I don't have a lot of anger. I'm I'm pretty. I do get angry,
Yeah.
but it's not very often, and it's pretty hard to genuinely piss me off. And I think there's a few reasons for that, but one of the biggest ones is that at this point, I feel so blessed with life that people if people are gonna try to tick me off, most of the time, I feel bad for them. I
That's
just like, you know
yeah.
what? Genuinely sorry you feel that way, and it's not going to affect me to help make sure you're okay. And if I can do that, then great. And if I can't mend it, then it is what it is. I'm not for everybody, but for the most part, it doesn't affect me that much. I've tried to let go of pretty quickly negative emotions that might spin me out. Might encourage me to crash out.
Yeah, it's for me, that's what I've learned. That's what's given me my peace is completely letting go of all of my anger.
Mm,
And like I used to have anger towards politicians, stuff like that, anger towards this or that, but like once I learned to forgive all those people
mm,
and pray for our leaders, like no matter who they are, like I didn't like MLG, man. Like I didn't like some of her policies, but I actually prayed for
mm,
her that God would show her, you know, truth, show her the light, change her, and all of that stuff I've realized is completely out of my
mm,
hands. So there's no point in me being upset over something that happens, no matter who the politician is. Our inner peace is completely in our control, but we allow existential forces to make us angry. And it could be something that goes way back into our childhood that had to do with our mothers or our fathers,
mm,
and we still haven't forgiven them, and we carry it around and we don't realize it. But that's where the anger stems from. But more and more, I'm starting to dive deep and just think about anything that's angered me in the past. Where did it come from? And processing it as an adult. Because as children, we just get emotional
mm.
and we react. We become reactive. But as we become men, we can't be reactive. We have to put our emotions aside, which most of our emotions I feel like come from some selfish place. Like, I'm not feeling right. This isn't going my way, or blah, 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 blah. Instead of um, just, what am I learning from this? You know, uh,
Attitude.
yeah, your attitude. You're looking at everything like it's a crisis instead of problem
Mm,
solving, like looking at everything as an opportunity to learn. Uh, but yeah, that was like one of the best sayings I've heard was a situation can either be a crisis or an adventure. It just depends on
mm.
your mindset.
I like that. You're right. You're right. I like that a lot. To add to that, I think one of the most interesting pieces of advice that I'd ever gotten was about, and I'll cite him, even though I don't, I don't listen to him very much at all, if ever. But Grant Cardone, he's like a
Grant,
heavy sales coach and stuff, and he's had some helpful. It's been a long time since I've really listened to him. But anyways, that's beside the point. Once upon a time, he had uh, probably 7 years ago, 8 years ago, had said something about. I'm almost positive it was Grant Cardone. It might have been Ed Milet. I'm almost positive it was Grant saying something about if you can turn the worst day of your life into the best day, it'll transform your life. And what that means is if you have this pain from a particular memory, if you could sit on it and look back on it and find something to be grateful for, find something positive to take away from it, which transforms it into something, into a good memory, you're going to change your life forever. And at the time, it was one of the first, I had heard this after one of the first big breakups that I'd ever gone through. And man, that helped me. It helped me a lot.
It's always a breakup. No,
Unfortunately.
no. Fortunately,
Fortunately.
fortunately, yes. No, I mean, I'm the same way, man. I looked at the worst heartbreak of my life, like it was, how am I going to recover from this? But that's the thing is, it taught me how to recover, how to cope, and how to let go of everything and focus on God. I could have I've I had nowhere to turn really.
Mm,
It was like in in a bad spot, and I was just like, well, I'll just start by going to church first. And
dude, that's cool.
yeah,
That's
and when I first showed
awesome.
up, I was like, this is
Walks in and walks out.
I sat
Nope.
there through the music, and I was just dead inside, man. Like I was so bitter, and I had to open up my mind and just hear what they were saying. And then by constantly being disciplined and going, I learned more and more about forgiveness and forgave myself, um, forgave others, and stuff like that. And it's helped me walk in peace, and it gives me a foundation. The it's like the Holy Spirit, having that inner dialogue with you of what's wrong and what's right. And sometimes the old me still comes out. You've seen it, you know.
Couple times.
we won't we won't elaborate, but I get disrespected
Mm.
and my ego is challenged, and the old me comes out where I want to smack
The
somebody.
old you or the young you?
The young, yeah, the younger me, yeah. But and then I'm like, whoa, like that's not how we handle that now. You know, that's not you. Like, but I mean, you've seen me grow. You've watched me make
Oh, dude,
mistakes.
absolutely. 100%, man. Which is awesome. It's super cool. I mean, look, I mean, even as a good friend of yours, I think I still have a lot to learn about your life and your background and your experiences. But to see what you're doing now with the heart behind this show and what you and I discussed beforehand, I know this is a young show, but your thought process on how to potentially be helping people says a lot about you. The fact that you're interested in that, that it's not, this isn't a self-serving project. Like, yes, you get to participate, you get the nature of the beast is that you get some acknowledgement from it, but the
Ah,
fact that you're out serving, and that's not important. You said that the
yeah,
fact that you're serving others, that it's really about what's in it for them,
yes.
right?
What? Yeah, I want some 16-year-old kid is sitting out there just like I was at the time when I was 16. We listened to 104.7 The Edge, and there was a show that would come on called Love Line with Adam Carolla and Dr. Drew. And man, it was funny, like listening to advice. Like there were some weird calls that would just make me laugh, kids figuring out their bodies, stuff like that. But yeah, Love Line. And but now it's like I'm gonna be 40 this year, and I've had all this crazy life experience, had a lot of mistakes, had some victories, um,
Mm.
and I just want to share whatever wisdom I have to offer, but bring on other people who have life experiences and wisdom to share. And I fought for this country,
Mhm.
and I believe using my First Amendment is super important. I'm not going to let haters out there, oh, this guy's starting a podcast. Who does he think he is? He wants to be famous. Like, that's not what it's about at all, man. I really don't care if you listen to this podcast at all. But if you're listening to it and you can take something from it, heck yeah. Like, that's what it's about. Um, and I know me, I work all day and I listen to podcasts, but they're not for everybody. Like, you know, um, but what else did I want to ask you about?
Before you get the next question, I had a good image for forgiveness and for letting go that I just remembered that you might think is powerful, and it might be powerful for others to think about. Um, can I grab this right here? You
Yeah.
mind? Well, it looked heavy, and it is heavy. So like I can hold it here, and it's fine. I can do this for a little bit. It's freaking heavy.
Yeah, dude.
Now, if I wanted to hold on to it longer, it's gonna get heavier, right? Heavier freaking quick. Should have picked something light.
You gotta let go.
That might have not. That was genuinely heavy. I should have grabbed something maybe a little lighter, like I don't know, like a mug, like this. Actually, it might be a better image. Like, yeah, I can hold this for a long time, for quite a while,
Yeah.
and it's no big deal. But if you set a timer for 5 minutes, I bet you it would probably not feel great.
Oh
Let
yeah.
alone 10 minutes. Let alone even longer than that. And the point is that something so small that you hold on to eventually will get heavy. It will. It doesn't matter what it is. It might be light to begin with. And we hold these things in. We hold these weights. Um, we don't always forgive. We don't always move on in a healthy way. And we hold a bunch of things out like that. And after a while, over time, they get freaking heavy. Let alone, like, that's something light. Like, that's not even considering if you're genuinely holding something that's already heavy and then you're just trying to carry it around. That's been one of my favorite metaphors for how powerful it is to let go of stuff. Because dang, man.
Yeah. No, that's so true, man. You carry it around and you don't even realize it, and you have all these bad habits and whatever it is. Like,
Ooh,
you could have lust or whatever, and
mm,
it's like, why do you have lust? You have some some want to be needed or whatever it is. Like, you have to. The more and more I've denied the flesh in any way, I've realized how much stronger and how much more free I am, because all those things were dictating my emotions.
mm.
Going after some chick because, that little baddie, go after, you know, who's that one? But yeah, I've learned to separate that and deny everything, like the anger, denying my emotions, denying, because that's the physical. We can give in to the physical. I wish I could deny pizza and stuff like that. I gotta I gotta deny the flesh a little more on my diet. But
Work in
but yeah,
progress.
those things make us stronger, man. Like, yeah, fasting, all
Mm.
that stuff. Just
That that is powerful. You're right in all those areas. Big deal.
being in control,
Yeah.
not giving in to your
When
emotions.
I hadn't even thought about the weight. Like you mentioned habits, like the weight of carrying around, like with the same analogy, the weight of carrying around bad habits and how uh, the difference it can have on your life by making an incremental shift, let alone a monumental one, and seeing how quickly you can transform your life. I think we forget. A lot of people don't realize or just don't get the opportunity to see positive future, I guess, is one way to say it. Is positive change, positive things. There's so many negative things that they're carrying around with them, and they just don't get to see positive exponential growth in their life in um, in any way, whether it's family, faith, fitness, or finances.
Well, here's something that'll a question that'll kind of mind boggle you and have you thinking about this the next week or two. But
Uh-oh.
what are thoughts? Where do they come from? How are thoughts? Do you make your own thoughts?
That's a great question there, Eric. I have consistently prayed. I don't. Okay, I'm going to say I don't necessarily know the answer to that one. Um, but what I will say is that I've prayed for the majority of my life that any thoughts that I would consider my own actually be God given. And that's always been interesting to me, because I don't want, I don't, it's easy to pursue things that are of my heart and of my mind, but I want to pursue things that are of God's heart and of
Yeah.
God's mind. So I've consistently asked that my thoughts be of God and from God. And there's clear situations where I can tell that they're definitely my own thoughts, but um, I would like to say that many of these thoughts are gifts from God. Like going to bed at night, before going to bed, spending time praying about the previous day, and then thinking about the unsolved problems that you don't have answers for, that you still need to solve for the next day, and just giving those to God and going to bed. And then in the morning when you wake up, not being in a rush to fill your mind with stimulation, but instead, as Dr. Jeff Spencer would say, like open the inbox, which ultimately is check your inbox to see if you've received any gifts from God in your subconscious while you're sleeping. But like in that way, thoughts being gifts,
Yes.
finding answers to your problems through prayer and through God, which is what my belief is.
So basically, what I'm taking from that is actually maybe less thought is good because we sit there and we think about, I'm worried about this, I'm worried about that. Like less thought and more action. Like, you have to think about what you're doing. Like, you have to have focus. But as far as like thoughts, like, you know, bad thoughts, good thoughts, um,
I think it's important not to be dull, distracted, or delusional. Right? You want to be able to show your truest self, and you don't want to be distracted. And you also want to understand the reality of the field you're playing on, especially in regards to your thoughts. I think thoughts are great. That if you're not acting on them, though, it can cause serious anxiety. That when there's a gap between what you should be doing and what you're actually doing, that is called anxiety, and that's part of why I stopped consuming a lot of self help information because there's always more to be doing. But I personally didn't have the discipline to follow through. So there was an ever growing list of things I should do, but not enough of what I was actually doing. And I realized it was actually screwing me up inside. I was living a life full of anxiety. But thinking without being distracted, I think is great. Like going for walks, just going for a walk without the headphones, looking at nature and praying, talking to yourself. I mean, I prefer having an open conversation with God in these moments.
just
But
raw dogging life.
yeah, exactly. Raw dogging life. That is actually to a T, which is funny. But that saying about showing up and being present, like the summarization of that, the taking my life and distilling it down to a few words came from going on these walks and not being distracted.
Yeah.
Or when I was showing up and being present, if you're being distracted, then it throws a kink in the whole thing. You're not genuinely building a relationship if you're distracted. You're not present if you're distracted.
No.
And if you can think while being present, if you can think while not being distracted, that is actually incredibly powerful. Now you pair that with taking action on the things that you should be doing. Now we're talking about a simple plan for success.
Right.
So thinking's good. Thinking about the wrong things is not good,
Right.
which sounds obvious, but it's easier said than done. I screw it up all the time, and I'm aware of it.
Yeah. I think a lot of us just have bad thoughts that stem from attachment to issues. I have friends that hit me up anytime anything happens, Charlie Kirk or this last shooting. God, it's just horrible. Like
Mhm.
I'm just sad that our country has come to this. Um, but they're hitting me up and they're just like, this is happening or this is happening or whatever, everybody's an investigator these days.
Mhm.
But I mean, I get caught up into it too. I'm not saying I'm perfect. Like I'm like curious, mitotero. That's what
Yeah.
we call it.
Yep.
Nosy. Um, but I just feel like it's a distraction from us focusing on our skill, on glorifying God with our works. We're over here being distracted with this or that. Sometimes it could be sports for some
Mhm.
people. It could be whatever kind of hobby that isn't really making you money or really serving you. Like hobbies are important. Like you got to have a hobby to completely take your mind off of work and rest. Like enjoy your rest day and completely reset. Like for me, it was like rock climbing and being outdoors, being out in nature. Um, but what were we talking
Who's the podcast host here?
about?
No,
um,
having hobbies, having
yeah.
hobbies to keep your well, talking about
Oh,
distractions.
distractions.
Yeah.
Yeah, just yeah, man. I just feel like a lot of this stuff, anything on news or whatever. I watch the news for the weather, and then I hear about this or that sad situation, and now I just pray for it, pray for that situation, and go about my day because it's out of my hands. Like, what is worrying about it going to do
Mhm.
anything for me? It won't serve me. Like, I have to just, yeah, God,
Well,
God help them, like,
that's right. Well, and constant dopamine being fed into our minds when our bodies constantly is not healthy at all. It really screws us up. I mean, there's a quote about easy dopamine being a man killer, right? Like if you really want to tear yourself apart, chase easy dopamine. It's the best way to do it. And there's a lot of truth in that. I find myself reaching for my phone a lot. Doesn't matter where I'm at, what I'm doing, what time of day it is, morning, like right when I get up or before I go to bed, or if I want to break at work. And
oh, and if
this,
you misplace it, it's like gives you anxiety. Bro, I've fallen asleep with my phone in my bed. How many times have you woken up with your phone in your back, dog?
yeah, speaking on it, yeah,
Oh
yeah. Or how many times you been smacked in the face by your phone? You're over there trying to hold it above your head, looking at stuff, and then you just start dozing off, and it smacks you right in the nose.
yeah.
Well, and that's interesting. I'm not a big resolution guy, but two of the things that I am working on this year are eliminating distraction, especially through the phone. Because yes, there's so much to learn out there about modern tools and things, and like I utilize X a lot, mostly for getting updates on a lot of modern technology that I can apply in work, and then some for some sports stuff. But dang, because there's just so much stuff on there that is stimulating the mind. Every single time I look at stuff like that, it spins me out, and I walk away with a cloudier mind.
Yeah.
Even if I'm working on something hard at the office, and then I say, okay, I'm frustrated, or I deserve this, whatever I want to break. I look at my phone, and I'm gonna scroll on X or Instagram or any of these things on Facebook, every single time for the billionth time, I feel worse. And when I try to go back to work, it's harder. I don't have any more clarity. I don't feel refreshed. And that's just, it's frustrating to me. So I want to cut down time on the phone. And I can tell you how many times I've been in a position to go to bed early so I could feel good the next day, but yet I'll waste time away on meaningless things, stay up too late, and the next day didn't get enough sleep, feel like crap. Now, because I'm in a state of not feeling good, I'm even more prone to relying on these addictions.
You're just watching Ukrainians getting blown up by drones all
Yeah,
night. Just kidding.
you know what? You can choose to watch that if you want. You really you can. Fair share videos have come across.
The algorithm's crazy, man. They sometimes I'm like, man, I've just watched crazy stuff for like 30 minutes.
It's worth going in and blocking and trying to maneuver your way through the algorithm if you have to be on it. Which, again, I haven't put it down myself, but like, dude, there's stuff on there that you need to block. That's just a fact.
Well, it's funny. My work Instagram, it's all wiener dogs and jewelry. That's all it is. Wiener dogs and jewelry. My other Instagram is just like, I feel I start having flashbacks to Nom, dude. Like I gotta get out of here.
No, it can be bad in any direction you want to take it. It'll show you stuff. So it is worth going through and blocking or just setting up guardrails if you can. I don't know, man. Social media nowadays, it's disappointing that
that's
it's
one
designed
thing.
to be so addictive.
One big advice I can give you, if it, like I thought about it, what does it mean to keep the Sabbath holy? And to me, I did a lot of searching in the Bible, stuff like that. But it's obviously rooted in creation. I feel like it's important to rest so that way we can come back and, you know, be super productive. Um, but I got home from church, and the first thing I would want to do is go right back to my bench and go to work or get on Instagram and scroll or watch some Netflix documentary. But I thought, you know what? I don't feel like that's keeping the Sabbath holy. Like, so this is just my own personal thing. Like, you guys can do whatever works for you. But I found like not doing what I would normally do for pleasure, like abstaining from that and just thinking about God and like being thankful, enjoying His creation, you know, instead of, yeah, I'd be on Instagram. Oh, I'm bored. I was like, what am I doing? You know, like that's not resting. And if you have a complete rest from your screen, like you feel good, man. Like you feel really rested. You sleep good at night.
You know what drives me nuts too is that, like, I don't know how many times I could have done something that was way more fun, way more engaging, would have been much more satisfying, but yet I chose to scroll Instagram. It's like, oh wow, I wasted my rest time looking at these stupid things that are worthless.
When you could have been with me at Dirty Bourbon.
That's right, dude. That's right. Well, that's exactly my point.
Yeah.
That's to a T. I can't tell you how many times that has happened where you do that easy dopamine.
Oh yeah.
It gets you, and then you reflect on it, and you're like, wow, what a waste of life.
Yeah.
Like a genuine waste of life. It wasn't even good recovery. I don't even feel better.
Yeah.
That is frequent. So that's something on my list this year to take care of that I'm actively working on is being less distracted and consumed by my phone, as well as getting a good night's rest.
Oh yeah. No, that's pivotal. We're almost coming up on an hour here. One,
Are you tired of me or what?
two. No, not at all. I could talk to you all night, man.
Joe Rogan style, 3 hours?
Yeah, we'll go 3 hours. Let me get the cigars, boys.
Dude!
We should have had a cigar.
That would have been pretty sick.
My landlords might
Yeah,
get upset.
I mean, yeah.
but
Celebratory
um,
after
yeah,
soon.
yeah. But this is one cool thing I learned from the Marine Corps. It's the 14 leadership traits, and this is what's instilled as a young Marine. Even though you're not a leader, you should exhibit these traits and be ready to take up leadership if someone goes down. But the acronym is JJ, did, tie, buckle. So justice, having leading with justice, um, having good judgment, being decisive, like making decisions quick, having integrity, always being honest no matter what, dependability, um, tact. So, like, tact is like how you bring up
Mm.
situations, not like, hey, why do we suck? Or, that's what I feel like a lot of people struggle with, or, um, but initiative, having initiative, that drives me nuts with younger folks. Like, you have to constantly see what needs to be done and just,
Mm.
make actions, like help out your team, help out your boss. Your boss shouldn't even have to like tell you what to do. Like, you should just have initiative and do it. And then eventually you're the leader because
Hmm.
they know you're dependable. Having endurance, you're going to be tired as heck being a leader. Um, you'll come home at the end of the day and the day is still not over. Still got to
Hmm.
balance your books, do whatever. Um, bearing, having bearing, like not just snapping when you're stressed. This shit sucks or whatever. You don't let your enemy sweat. You have bearing. You don't go off emotion during
Mm.
arguments. I've struggled with that. got
Uh,
I've gotten into some confrontations and stuff like that.
yeah.
But yeah, you realize, man, I could add better bearing. Unselfishness, not just always thinking about yourself, but thinking about the what's best for the team. Um, Courage, having courage to speak up.
Mm.
Like, a lot of people talk bad about another employee, or say stuff behind a boss's back, like, oh, what an idiot, he's doing this or that, instead of going up and actually changing it by having the courage to pull your boss aside and be like, hey, do you mind if I talk to you? Sure. Are you at a place in your life where you're open to some constructive criticism? uh, yeah, go ahead. And then you bring up whatever, you find a good tactful way of doing it. And then knowledge, always learning. Even if you're a leader, you think you've learned everything, like, then you should just
And that's a
quit.
problem. If you think you know it all, that's a red flag.
Arrogance.
Yeah. Well, all or nothing thinking even
Yeah.
is it's it's uncommon for anything to be all or nothing. It's a fact.
And with the world of changing technology, you have to always be a student because it's
Hmm.
constantly changing. Like, these guys, they were showing me about AI, man. I'm over here photoshopping like old school style, like cutting out a head and photoshopping it onto a photo. Like, oh, look at you. And they're like, I don't even want to talk about it. AI is nuts. That's all I got to say about AI. But yeah, you have to always be a student, and
Hmm.
with this changing world, loyalty, being loyal to one another, not being a backstabber, talking trash behind your teammates' back. Like, go talk to them about it,
Mm.
you know. And then enthusiasm. That's big too. Like, in the
Ooh,
core, we used to say false motivation is better than none.
yeah.
So
That's
always
true.
being enthusiastic. You can't come in like if you're that person on the team, like that's, oh, what are we doing today? Oh, like, no, you have to, let's go, yeah. You know?
For any young people listening, that these go a long way. Like this goes back to the attitude thing. I don't know how many times I have again shown up, been excited to be there, said hello to everybody, looked them in the eye, shook their hands, like participated. Even though I was by far the dumbest person in the room and massively underqualified, I just was excited to be there and was happy to be around other humans.
Yeah,
And they just accept you there. People
yeah,
that you're looking up to and putting on pedestals, you just become part of the pack.
yeah.
And eventually figure out, wow, we're actually all kind of the same. We all know different things. They might be smarter than me in some things. I might be smarter than them in others. But you can walk into many rooms just by being enthusiastic.
Oh,
That goes a long way in the workplace. If you're just excited to be there, I think that'll save a lot of jobs.
oh, yeah. And it stops the fear from coming in when you have to do something, do a project. It's not like, oh, God, what are we doing? No, it's
Mhm.
like, what are we doing? All right. Like, we're going to problem solve. We're going to have fun doing it. Like,
Mm.
but if you sit there and you're like treating the whole experience as agonizing, like, that's just going to bring your team down and yourself. Like,
At the end of the day, you realize it's just not useful. I mean,
yeah.
if you're trying to get from point A to B, that's just an attitude that's not useful. It doesn't have any positive impact on getting you out of your worst situation. Did you have more to add to that list? Because if not, I have
Uh,
a little saying that I'd like to share with you that you might
yeah.
like.
Yeah.
So I learned this from Dan Sullivan, the founder of Strategic Coach, and um, super cool human, a lot of great resources, amazing company, and this concept is called the four C's, and it's about building confidence. Like, how does one build confidence? And
Ooh, that's
he,
a good one.
well, and he noted that it's a secular thing. It's a cycle, and you start building confidence by first committing through commitment. You commit to doing the thing. You make the commitment to do the thing, to achieve the goal, to accomplish your mission, XYZ, commitment.
And,
Well,
and going into that, like, you have to think, what is it going to take to finish it
mhm,
mentally before you commit? Because some people don't think about what is it actually going to take, and then they commit and then they fail because they weren't mentally.
you should use all your resources to be based in reality. That's a good idea. But when it comes to gaining uh, confidence in life, like sometimes you don't necessarily know what's on the other end. And yes, you can piece together your past experiences to give you the best idea of what it probably will look like. And it's never perfect, right? You can put together an educated guess about what your steps lead to. The logic can be sound. Sometimes it doesn't always work out. And that's the way life goes. So you should be aware of your surroundings, right? Be based in reality. But you decide to make the commitment, considering what you know about yourself and about reality. And step number two is courage. You have to have the courage to go out there and to do the thing. And because it's scary, because you don't know how to do it, you don't have the capabilities, and there's a lot of unknowns, and you could fail. So, courage, commitment, and then courage. If you have the courage to go out and to start learning, to start tinkering around, to start just doing the thing, if you're willing to be embarrassed, you will eventually gain capabilities, which is fun. You start learning a little bit.
Yeah, you make mistakes. And, oh, that didn't work, but now I know how to do it. This will work. Oh, it did work. Okay,
You win or you learn.
right.
So you're constantly learning no matter what, and now you're gaining capabilities. And what happens when your capabilities start going to the roof? or you start getting really good, things start looking very beautiful, you gain confidence. And that's how you gain confidence. And the sweet thing about this cycle of commitment, courage, capabilities, and confidence is that when you gain more confidence, now you can make bigger commitments. So now you restart. Because you are more confident and you have more capabilities, or you're more confident because you have more capabilities and you've seen the process work itself out before, now you can make bigger commitments. And you already know the
Wow.
cycle. You could choose to be courageous and to be embarrassed and to do the thing, gain the capabilities, and gain more confidence. And it's just an upward spiral. And I think it's beautiful. It's very impactful. It's even great to label sometimes, like, where am I? Because sometimes you're out doing things, and you're like, oh man, I feel like an idiot. Like, well, this is the courage phase. Like, I'm learning it. Like, it's part of the process of capabilities and confidence. So I've
Yeah.
always liked that one.
That's kind of similar, but more extensive than what we were taught in the core, and ours was called OODA loop.
I've
You've
heard
heard of
it.
that?
I've heard of
Yeah.
OODA looping.
Orient, decide, act, and it
Yep.
goes in a circle. You orient yourself on whatever situation or goal, make a decision, and then act, and then it goes wrong. Then you
Mm.
reorient yourself on the problem, make a decision, and act, and you just keep
And it's
boom,
fast.
boom.
It allows you to make decisions quickly. You fail fast, right? Which is the name of the game. That's life. You're gonna fail, and
Oh
if
yeah,
since you're gonna fail, you should do it fast.
but you know what helps failure? Preparation.
Mm-hmm.
And like the core, we learned the 7 P's. Proper prior planning prevents piss poor performance.
Mm.
You know, I mean, I see people so unprepared all the time, like just not having their stuff together. Why weren't you on time? You
Mm.
know,
Was it
oh
failing to plan is planning to fail? That's another one that people throw around.
yeah. Well, I think that'll do it, brother. I'm so glad you came on, man. I know it's kind of podcasting's crazy, like being vulnerable, putting yourself out there, but I appreciate you always being a good friend, and I really enjoy hearing your perspective and your insight. And hope to have you on again one of these days if this thing goes anywhere.
Well, I hope this ain't your last, brother, because this is great, and this is part of that courage phase, right? This is you doing the thing and just getting it done, and having fun, and out of the hundreds of conversations we've had, they've always been top notch. You've
Heck
always
yeah.
brought your expertise out, and you've been willing to share what you know about your life experience. And man, that's sweet. You've always
Yeah.
that's it's
Uh,
great to have good friends like that in life. And so thank you. I'm honored to be your first interview. Hopefully you found it a fun experience, and hopefully the people watching or whoever sees this find a nugget or two. But most importantly, I'm happy to see our relationship grow. A
heck
couple,
yeah.
some B Town guys. I
Yeah.
apologize. I never answered about where I was from. Belen, New Mexico, B Town.
Beat town. Heck yeah.
That's born and raised, whole New Mexico. So
Belen's old school, Jack. Like old school. I
you,
mean, if you want culture, you want good food,
whew,
authentic New Mexico food, come down to B Town. There's so many good restaurants. Go check out the Harvey Museum. Yeah, I love Belen, man. I love this town.
this town and this county, right? This county. I mean, it's home to me. So I wanted to answer that because I never answered that one when you first asked originally. I got distracted, but dude, it's an honor to have known you for this long already. I can't believe it. Shoot, Eric, we're getting old, man.
I know, man.
Um, which is kind of scary, but I'm glad we're using our time like this.
You're what,
So
28?
28, brother.
28.
Hey, we got to plan a
And
birthday party for
and
you.
you're single?
I am single. I am single.
He's
That's right.
single. Any Christian ladies out there? All right.
Please reach out to Eric's producer,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
he'll,
Reach
he'll,
out to
he'll
my
drop a line my
producer.
way.
Yeah.
So I'm always happy to make new friends. So,
Heck yeah, brother. Well, I hope you have a good night, man, and I'm looking forward to seeing what you do, watching you grow more. And yeah, let's go dancing or something.
Let's go
Yeah,
dancing. Let's
brother.
go. Count me in, brother. Thank you for having me.
All right, my man.
Love you, dog.
Dustin Duenas, people. Yeah. Yeah, I miss you. That's a wrap. That's a wrap.